song like you did last time.
You can make
That
your
was
own video. You can
horrible.
make your own video. No, like the
Okay.
one that me and Lori used was the spacecraft that had crashed and it was like blinking lights. And then Maggie says, "Don't use that damn
The
Jamba
big.
Juice music."
So automatically on my face, I'm gonna hide it, but you see it says you can support me by sending stars, and I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So, oh wait, it showed up here. So the people.
No, I saw it. I see the comment, but unless you put chat overlay, if you put chat overlay, then it'll pop on the screen with you and I, and it'll show all the chats to everybody. But if you
Okay,
just keep it for us,
I'm not so sure about that because the last time we did a record back, we could see all the comments.
yeah, you and I can because we're on the live. But like if you wanted the viewers to see the
after
whole
the fact, after the fact, when it posted to, I don't know who's watching. This is me and Jennifer. We're testing some things out. We're trying to make something happen, and I don't know if it's going to work for tonight. Yeah,
y'all bear with us.
We posted, and people went back later and looked at the live of it. All the
yes
comments were there.
Yes. But if you want them to be on the screen with our faces, then you push the overlay button.
We don't need.
Well, we have no comments right now, so that we'll try. We'll try if we get a comment here. So if you look in your left-hand corner, it should give you a timer, and it says live.
Yes.
Okay, and it'll tell you how many people are watching, if there's any there.
Yes, we have two poor people.
It's probably your phone and my phone.
Right, maybe. So when we get going, we can stream to TikTok. I can set it. Oh no, we tried that. It didn't work. So on that. Never mind.
So yeah,
on that. Forget that.
So yeah, your video is getting bad again.
No.
You're like, no. We both look really cute and laid back, and we're ready to podcast, and the eternal battle with Wi-Fi.
Hi, Cassandra. So this is what's happening. Are on a project. So we are wanting to cast, which is actually kind of a recreation of a podcast that Jennifer did. And we're testing our equipment because I don't know what I'm doing, first of all. And it's sad to say that we're about 50 minutes now. And so Cynthia is saying the video is clear on her end. Is it little Jennifer? Not at the moment.
Well, now your video's back to being a little better. And I mean, if it gets so bad, you can always we can turn our cameras off and just do the audio part, which, I mean, I'm pretty good looking, so I want to make sure that my camera stays on as much as possible.
You're the reason people will face in the Taylor Swift hoodie. So.
Oh gosh. Well, Cynthia's saying your audio is coming in and out a bit, so try turning your camera off, see if that helps. Really, Lori? Okay. Lori Mullinger just showed up to the party. This bitch.
Wait, I turned my mic off.
Oh, why would you do that?
Is this better?
Okay. Just keep talking.
Is better. I'm talking. Just testing this out.
No, your audio sounds a lot better.
Okay, well, we're not going to have this thing for you to be.
For me, for my handsome face, to be here and not show your lovely face. We can't do that. But I think once you get your Wi-Fi booster and maybe get some devices under control, it's going to be a lot better because and maybe just figuring out another time so that this is heavy streaming time, 7 o'clock in the evening.
Right. Can definitely try with a Wi-Fi booster. So for those of you listening and family that's bound to see this because it's streaming on my Facebook page, in places we have in our house that's hooked to the Wi-Fi. I'm right now, which I'm sure her television, which is on, is hooked up, and her iPhone. So it says it's a lot better. I'm turning my camera on. I don't like that. I don't like you don't know who's talking.
No, I mean, I don't either.
Away with saying more.
You could. There's Eminem on there. Well, I don't know. At the bottom, it does say your full name. So.
Oh, I could change that. Surely I could figure out how to change. How do you change that?
So
I want it to just say.
So it should be the little 3 dots next to your name. It says edit name.
Oh, well, I think I should put a little heart emoji next to it. Okay. Well, what's going on? Sound okay on my side? Just breaking up a little bit. Sure.
Well, that's good.
So I have a Wi-Fi booster order next time, and I think we're going to try to stick with Wednesday nights unless the traffic. I don't want to drive into town for these, but
no, I don't want you to.
I will. I will if I had to. I actually thought that I could daughter's apartment, and it might be better.
It might. But I mean, I think there's some simple things that you can do at the house to bolster your streaming quality. Do you want to practice putting a comment on the screen? Because, hey, Marcy, you got to learn how to do all those little, like the cool podcasters, they're doing the comments and they're, oh, yeah, you did that one. Oh, man.
This is the comment of the year right here.
For everybody that's watching, my wife has just thrown up on the screen Lori, who likes to tell people that she's not a lesbian. Those of us that know her and love her well and know her well know that that's a lot.
Well, basically, Lori is one of those ladies. You know how some people go to prison out. Lori is one of those ladies that gets out of prison. It's really interesting. She wasn't gay. She's gay.
She says, "Don't start." Oh, honey, you this is gaslighting.
Not realize, not openly admit that after the stay, but she is in a full-blown lesbian relationship. Tim Snow is on, and he's recently found him, y'all. Jennifer, and he's asking, is this Jennifer?
Yes, Tim. Tim, I did a long time ago when I first started. I thank God you're here, right? Because a long time ago, I say a long time, it was like 3 years ago when I started my YouTube channel. Um, I didn't know how to check the comments. I didn't know how to do anything other than just upload a video. So then I went back a year. I don't know. It was like a year later. I was like, oh, I have comments, and I had seen where you had asked me. And then, like in another video, you were like, I don't know, I guess she's not interested. And I was like, no, I'm interested. I'm interested. So, and then I didn't hear back from you. I was like, well, I guess I just completely blew that opportunity and chance. But yes, it's me. Hi. I was
I'm the
the problem.
problem inside.
I remain the problem. Yes. Yes, I was always interested. I'm sorry I didn't know how to operate YouTube at the time. Still don't completely
So
know.
I was driving back Operation Weekend in Houston, and I was looking for podcasts to keep me awake because I was exhausted trying to make that 4.5 hour. And so I just like searched Texas, and Tim Snow's podcast came up, and so I listened to several of those, and then I found him on Facebook and Time also. So that was really interesting to find him.
Yes, and now he's found me again, and we've cleared the air that it was overlooked, and because I didn't. Okay, Lori, we get it. We get it. We get it.
I wonder if you were so busy involved with your related things fall to the wayside. That's a
Yeah.
was the cause of that.
Well, getting involved in this relationship with this woman who's newly exploring her sexuality, which, by the way, I did score us. And Tim, yes, I still want to do it too. So let's get together. But yes, I did score Madonna tickets. And so Madonna was once the first part of my life journey. You know, I can't say I was as passionate about her as I am Taylor now, but she was my first spiritual awakening to female empowerment. But she is Lori's Taylor. So I sat with Ticketmaster yesterday, and I had a lot of PTSD from the Taylor concert debacle. And I made it through, and I got us tickets. So we are going to see Madonna together. Special night. Right here at the movie center. All you have to do is just walk over there. Yeah. Good night, Tim.
Good night, Tim. The things that we do for our relationships, like staying on for lengthy periods of time, it's really impressive. So we've been trying to think. I have been trying to think of content that we can make for TikTok, and I'm like, it's got to be some relationship stuff. And so I told her, we're just sitting in the back of the truck. We're meeting her mom at a restaurant, and 20 minutes out. So we sat in the tailgate, and I said, let's record a video. And I just tell her, hey, and this is how I never give Brittany any prep for videos. It's make a video with me, and then I throw it at her on camera, because she comes up. One of the things was crazy things that women do in prison when they're in a. So why did Brittany bust out with the raunchiest thing? Like, I'm thinking, did you see? Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm not even going to say it on here on chat. And this is something I did not take in, and I can promise either. And don't let me spell it wrong in the chat. I'll be embarrassed.
Well, no, it's like you said during like when we were doing the Christmas videos. And she said, "Now, why did these two come up with the dildo comment?" And I was doing sweet stuff, like what was the sweetest thing that someone had, I don't
Yes.
know. And you're like, these two automatic. And Brittany was going all the way. She's like, "Man, it was like this big," and then it was like, you were like, "Okay."
Yeah. Romance. I don't even know
Oh
why
God.
with that, actually, because y'all have the same way of thinking. Mind always goes to the first extreme.
Oh God. Yes, I see it's the particular burritos. I don't know why. Why things get so like relationships on the inside get so extreme, like so I don't know. I mean, I didn't do any of those things, which is strange, Marcy, because on the outside of prison, boom, boom, crazy. I threw myself through a window, right? But when I was in prison, like I didn't do anything crazy about relationships other than maybe yell one time, but like all that craziness, no, I was completely normal. It was strange.
I feel like we should ask some guests of your ex-girlfriends to come in and confirm that.
The good thing
They
I'm off
confirm that.
parole because I wasn't allowed to be in contact with. I don't really, none of them speak to me other than one or two. And I guess that's saying a lot.
I don't have any. I have one or two friends that I'm still in contact with through social media,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so funny because when you're in there, I mean, I have my girlfriends for a year in there, and it was so intense. If you can imagine like your high school relationship, that's what I would compare it to. Same kind of those same kind of this is it is the most important thing in the world. Everything
Yeah,
else
it was just
falls behind. Yes.
total
Yes. Oh,
blinders.
I can miss college tonight. A friend will talk to this other girl in the dorm if I
Mhm.
leave her for one. How
Yeah,
serious
yeah.
it was.
Super, like, yeah, and it's really hard to explain. Well, and Marcy, that's why when I got out, after all those years on the inside from a teenager and being in that culture, like the ways I responded to relationship things was like how we handled things in there. And it's like, no, 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 we don't do that out here. Like, you don't,
Right.
this intense, almost obsessive, crazy intensity is, I mean, it still happens, but it's at a whole nother level. Lori,
Well,
Brittany can't help it. Yeah.
she's Brittany's not home yet, but she's interested in this conversation. Supports y'all's relationship fully. I can speak for her on that matter. So I coming from, and I think right now does probably already knows this. And thanks for hanging in there with the video lag and all of that craziness. It's going to be better next one, I promise. In case you're catching the video later, you should know that Brittany is my girlfriend. We got together in prison in 2017. Two got out in 2021. I got out. So we brought our to the free world and all of those things, Jennifer, is not the burritos, like not that kind of craziness,
Yeah.
but all of that possessive behavior, uh, blinders, all of that. Don't sit by her,
Mhm.
all of that. And we have to check each other like,
Mhm.
hey, because you can easily fall right back into that on this comment, and I didn't mean to. Not that I don't think Lori is a super set.
No, but you know what, Marcy, you're right, and it's hard. I've had, well, you know, over the couple of years I've been home, I still struggle with that. And normal people, like normal, who's really normal, but normal people don't understand that. And I'm like, I'm trying to control that. And it, plus mental health issues play a role in that too. But it's hard. I mean, I grew up in the system and that was my culture. And, you know, so love means those things, but love does not mean those things. And that's hard.
Part of a healthy relationship in prison is obedience, like complete obedience, not respecting each other's thoughts or, but literally a complete obedience cut of 5 years, you know?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, coming home, changing, that could be, I could see how that could be super challenging. And it was for me, but you did twice the amount of time I did.
Yeah, and it is based on this. Um, I don't know. It's almost like a patriarchal, weird. Like the butch one is the person that controls, dominates, tells you what to do, where to go, where to stand. You get it's very controlled, and that is not normal or healthy, right? And you get out here and in having that for so long. I mean, well, no wonder my relationships have failed because that's not healthy. Um, in my mind, if that's not happening, then that's not, you don't love me, right? And that, I mean, I guess that's, you know, a part of being in abusive, toxic relationships and environments, that you learn to see, you mislabel emotions and what they really are, because the culture that you're in, you know, tells you what values to have. And it's a struggle, right? It's a real struggle to fight against, and that goes to anything in prison culture, that, you know, not reporting something, you know, and that was something that was like, hey, you know, would you report a sexual assault? And it that is instilled from the time I got there as a child, that you never say anything, you don't intervene, you don't do anything. um, and that was a cultural value and attitude, and to know better. And it's still, I don't know how to explain it. It's just embedded, even though intellectually I know that there's something wrong with these values. It's just what the system and the culture instilled in me.
There's a whole different set of morals in there.
Right.
And there's in prison, there's not only things socially acceptable, but things that are expected are not tolerable or okay or even legal in some instances. So even just, I mean, I went in as an adult. I knew right from wrong. I felt like my morals, you know, as far as if someone's getting hurt, just like you said, would I get into that environment? And I mean, I want to say within, gosh, Jennifer, sadly, within 2 or completely sucked in and changed around. Like I'm, I was an inmate, an offender, and a such. So yeah, I still stories, and the first part of my mind was fine, and it's my brother who gets me every time. My little brother, and he'll look at me easy, or he'll text me later and say, "You were saying something, but that's not right, right?" you know, that's not okay, and it to reprogram me sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it is. It's like a reprogramming, resocialization. And it's instinctual, and the things that like, why does prison culture have those values? Well, they prison culture created those values, like no snitching, to for survival, right? Because you got hurt, you got beat up, you got killed, you got stabbed, all that kind of stuff. So there are reasons to why those values and norms and behaviors manifested and developed within that culture, and it all centers on survival and power, survival and power, looking for ways to have individual power or power over other people, because again, that links to survival. Even in women's prisons, I tell people, I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but this is very much like, you know, Mean Girls times 3,000, with a lot of violence, all girls high school with a lot of violence and, you know, other undertones that are toxic and unhealthy. It is that hierarchy. There's all these elements of power and social status, and I'm sure that happens in men's facilities, but I think it's just different for us. The power struggles and dynamics are not about gangs. It's about, like how it was in high school, in junior high, but just horrible. Like you said, like imagine those relationships on steroids, with a lot of violence.
There's definitely a social hierarchy in prison, and it is a lot like that of high school. It has, and what you have, um, and then in prison, at least in Mike's, how long you had been there, that definitely puts you higher on and your charge. If you had a big number, that puts you higher on the
Mhm.
list. It was a place where it helped to say that I had a convicted to a 20-year sentence, because then people took me seriously. I think
Right.
if I had a 2-year sentence, I think that I
Well,
would seriously. I mean, that's it. Somebody commented on one of my TikToks, said, "I heard that the kind of shampoo you have, what class system you are in a women's prison."
what so
Do
and
that.
what was your answer?
Well, I talked about, because we would get those donated
Yeah.
shampoos that we thought they were a bottle of Suave brand
Yeah.
shampoo, and they were, I think the most I paid for a bottle was probably $20, and
Hmm.
anywhere from $8 to $20. And when they would get donated, I would have my bunch of coffee, things that were easy, a bunch of cookies, things that I knew people would want, right? And yeah, that was it. Did mean something. Bottles in December, it was a it was a flex in July to take a Suave bottle out of your box and use it. That was a flex.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you, right? Like in like to demonstrate social status? Like what type of shampoo? Like, do you have the Amerifresh or do you have the fancy protein or swab that was donated and it's July and you got like either you've been holding that on since December or you've bought several bottles of it. So that means what? I have some type of power status money. What type of shoes? That was always a big deal. Like, so everybody jokes with me, Marcy, like, you keep your shoes so white. And I'm like, I have to have white shoes. So like, I have to have new white shoes and they have to be fresh and clean. They don't have to be the most super expensive, but they have to be white. And that because that was a social status thing. Like when I was there as a teenager and I was close to indigent because my family couldn't, provide a whole lot. And it was before I won my lawsuit. That's a whole nother story about the Texas Youth Commission. Well, that's for another discussion, the abuse that happened there. But I had state boots. And at the time, you didn't even have the little canvas shoes, it was state boots. And no t-shirt under, that was another thing, like no t-shirt under my uniform. So I just had the v-neck, kind of low, and then you could see my state bra. You know what I mean? It's like, girl, she indigent, busted up, and you knew, right? And you get pushed aside, you get treated differently, you get bullied. But girl, when I got my brand new what did we what New Balance, and when I got my brand New Balance, they're clean and white. I got a fresh T-shirt on, my clothes are white. That's a whole different status. Like I can tell you to get out of the way. I can go to the front of the line. And it is I don't know. I don't know if men have those same weird things like women do, but it is very much in prison like it was in high school. Like, well, this is the type of bag I have. This is the type of shoes I have. It's the same thing in prison.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. So this about I just want to touch on that really quickly because I wish that I had and when we actually start our show, our podcast, guys, we'll be a little bit more prepared. But it's if you can imagine an army boostic, they were terribly, very clunky, not cute, and they people that were wearing them, you knew that they didn't have money commissary. They were definitely treated differently, and not inmates,
Hmm.
but by staff. There
Yeah.
was that that someone that didn't have it underclothes that was that were purchased have expensive shoes on expensive which was $50, which hey, when you don't get paid donated from family, that's a lot.
Right.
$49 I think is paid for that. They probably, if they don't have those things, they probably also can't when there's something wrong going on in the prison. They probably don't have family out there have the means and the willingness to do things like file complaints with the on and those kind of things. So
Right.
they're an easier target to take. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Because the staff know I can abuse this person, and they have no outside support. They're essentially alone, and a lot of times that was true. Like the girls that we knew that were indigent, we knew they had nothing. So if they don't even go to the store for like a $10, like a little $10 list, they have no one. And if we knew that, of course the staff knew that. And the one thing, Marcy knows that staff hates is knowing that family members will call up there. They don't want to deal with any of that. So they stay clear of the ones that have family members that would actually impactfully call up there and complain about something.
I had a loved one make so many phone calls and so often in a non-productive way that it backfired. Was it it got messed up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely was a target because of that.
Yeah. Well, and here I think the interesting, again, so many nuances, right? Thank you for that word, Lori, because she was saying there's many nuanced things, which is interesting. She said if a girl had very long hair, they'd been there a long time and therefore higher on the social scale. Um, that's I mean, that wasn't something that I noticed at Mountain View, and this is what I was going to say. Like in terms of what you're saying about your family member, like really being on the receiving end of backlash to them reporting. I think even those things are by unit. Like every unit is its own little city, its own little culture within a prison culture. Because at Mountain View, that just doesn't happen. Like it is taken care of immediately. The family member could call up there 1,000 times. They That just wasn't the culture there that the staff would do that. And I'm not saying they never retaliated, but for the most part, like they did not do that ever really. If they knew a family member was watching and involved, um, they just did not harass us ever. So that's interesting that happened to you. And there's stuff, I've always watched your TikToks and enjoy them. Like, dude, she's spot on. But some of the things that I see different, I think really are just the facility. The same way when I went to Crane. Oh, girl, it's a whole nother nightmare within itself, and in a different way. And that's what I had tried to do on some of my videos, was try to interview somebody from each unit that had done a lot of time at each unit.
Oh, that's a good idea to get everybody's. That's you said about changing from unit to unit. So on online time, we definitely hand washed our searches, stolen stolen state issued clothes, but newer version, right? Nice and white. We washed them up so they were starched, and I mean every day. We were stepping out with our starched up lines in our sleeves, lines, and that's another social thing. Every day. That that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool. Brittany gets my girlfriend gets a unit transfer to the and and she steps off the chain bus, and as she's with her chain bag, she they are making fun of her, like down, like you think you're on a runway, like they were
Oh, God.
clowning time. you know, here she is, she's on chains, so she's just like anyone would look nice going to a new place. That's what she's trying to
Right.
do.
And they're like, look at this fool. And because that, and it's like, little do you know, white boy beat your ass. But like, that was the culture of Lane Murray. That was a lot of times at Mountain View, there was a whole subculture within Cell Block. Like it was so weird to see that. Like when I went to Crane, girl, everybody walking around busted up. You know what I mean? And by busted up, I mean throw down clothes, and they just it's just not a super big deal there. I mean, there are people that will press their clothes or whatever, but not like that. You know what I mean? And then at Mountain View, I mean, that was a thing. You had to look sharp and nice, and it meant status. But it was so petty there that officers would just make you change your clothes and give me your clothes. And it's like, why? Because I can tell you washed them, or I can tell where'd you get this brand new, um, You stole that from the laundry. No, I got it at laundry when they gave us sets. No, you didn't.
Right.
No, you didn't.
When
Give me
they were
that.
handing everybody else brown, stained knee sets, they handed me a matching shirt and pants. That was
A
the
brand new
worst.
white set.
If you went to laundry and just decided to open up or throw out, it would be the worst if you went and got a new shirt with your dusty pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that would,
Oh yeah.
when you saw
Oh
that
yeah, you got. Oh, I hated that, Marcy. You go up there and you're like, damn, this is what I got to wear, and you get this brand new hot ass canvas, right? Because when they're new, they're real hot. You know what I mean? But they're white,
thick,
and you get this dirty ass pair of pants that totally is almost yellow. It doesn't match. Oh God, I hated that. I hated it so much. I'd be angry. I just wouldn't wear it. I just wouldn't. I just keep wearing dirty clothes.
I want quick. Angie, thanks for watching us. So, what guys, if you're just now tuning in or tuning in and out, Jennifer and I are starting a podcast. This is our test run to see how well our streaming works, and it took me 50 minutes to get set up.
Well, she got it. She
with
got it.
She on the phone and in the chat. So it's going to get better. This is just kind of a go-to, a first-hand run, a trial run.
It's going to be great. We've got it down. Restream is really easy to learn. You've already caught on to you just play around with it. And I'm pleased that your audio is pretty decent because people will hang in if they can hear you. The video, I think there's stuff that you'll be able to do to boost your Wi-Fi. And once that's popping, nothing can hold us back. So
Okay.
I hope everybody bears with us, and we're going to have a consistent time to be on here with hijinks and stories and hopefully guests. So thanks for hanging out with us with Marcy's janky.
I'm out in the sticks. I don't have good
Where you have
Wi-Fi.
35 devices on that poor little Wi-Fi, it's just wobbling. It's just like I can't
I
hardly
have
stay.
a grandmother, knowledge savvy. She likes to be able to TikTok videos and play her games and be all connected to the Wi-Fi at the same time. She's got lots of devices. When she gets up,
And she leave them all on.
totes around. And 2 iPads she totes around everywhere. So we're going to work on getting a Wi-Fi booster, which actually I've ordered one from Amazon. It's on it. So by the next time, maybe that will help also.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna work out, and then you'll be real. You'll have you've already got the comments down, highlighting comments and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, TikTok trained me for that. Pinning comments, and so we have to talk about this before we leave because, and I don't want our regular content because we're going to have some very insightful, but this has been the topic of conversation across all of my platforms today, and that is in women's prisons. I need to tell you something you may not know. Genuinely believe, especially formerly incarcerated, believe that women have to be served cut up because they cannot be trusted not to use their hot dog in an inappropriate way.
What? What? Who said that?
promise. Well, this started weeks ago. There's a prison TikToker. He did time in California. His name is Matt. You follow him. So he did a video basically saying, I learned aren't true. Blair, I see you. Hi, honey.
Hey,
and it was hot dog myth. And he's like, y'all, this isn't true. That doesn't happen. And in his comments. So, and they're like, yeah, it does, bro. Oh, yeah. He tagged me and he said, let's ask Marcy. I saw that tag and I was like in the truck, and it's a very poorly made video because it was one of those that you feel like you have to respond to. I'm going to type his name here. He is a good guy to follow. He's got I don't remember if it's HAHN. Anyways, yeah, he's on TikTok, Twitter. I respond to that, and then I just post it across all my platforms, and the people are coming for me, Jennifer. They don't believe me.
Who are these people? Are they just people with strong opinions, or they're people that have been locked up?
Been locked up and have penises.
Oh, Lord.
Literally, there is an entire population in this country. Female inmates cannot be trusted with a hot dog.
You know, it's always dumbfounding to me that men know our experiences better than we do, right? Like, how many times probably both of us have said, I literally did a decade. I literally did 2 decades. What you're saying is not true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Da, 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 whatever. I'm like, bro, have you been in a women's facility? So what are you talking about? So I think this goes to that weird obsession that men have with the stereotypes of women in prison. Like, going back, we've talked about it too before, like this whole obsession with sex and sexuality with women in prison. It's the male fantasy, it's the male gaze, and it's like, dude, that doesn't, what you saw in porn and what you saw in 70s exploitation movies is not true. Like, it's 120 degrees in here. None of that's happening. We're trying to survive. We're laid out on the floor with the heat. We're not doing none of this weird shit with hot dogs. I'm sorry. Not happening.
Yes. Okay. You ahead and let me just say, know that when I started my time, and I remember very distinctly being on the phone with him trying to talk like husband and wife times, right? And me saying, I you think happens in here, but let me right now what I'm looking at, and I just laid it out for him. There is nothing sexy about this scene. Whatever you've got going on in your mind. And never have I ever, we could play that game, and I don't believe that I would ever see a female inmate say, darn, never have I ever to masturbate. And I don't think that one female inmate ever in the history of female, shoot, that's me. I gotta go. It's my turn.
Because it really is, this is rooted in male obsession, like Lori said. It's rooted in male obsession with female sexuality. And you even saw it with the staff, their complete, utter obsession with our relationships in ways that doesn't happen. Um, in ways that doesn't happen with men. Blair, just get ready, honey, because it's gonna get live and raw on this podcast. I promise. Between the two of us, yeah. Well, Marcy will be always the voice of reason and appropriateness.
I'll reel it in when it starts to
Reel it in.
get out of control. But I will say on these channels, we'll be able to go a little bit normally would. And you guys are used to seeing, especially of us, on TikTok, which y'all know I have middle platform, so that's part of my filtering. And then also TikTok just the heck out of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to. I probably couldn't even say penis. They might
probably.
get me for that.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We can say penis.
We've moved up. Did I mess up my? Let me. Y'all will have to remind me not to with these.
Don't be wiggling with that.
Oh,
now we're all struggling with audio and video.
Hang on. Oh, no. I'm completely off. Siri, go away. Wait.
What are you doing?
Oh my! Did y'all hear that or no?
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. Siri is in the background right now.
Siri wanted to get in on the action.
She heard that the penis word. She can't know how I did that, but this is why we're doing this today, so that we're like really trying to be professional with that. Okay, Blair's telling me the sound because I hit this button on my AirPod and it called Siri. Does anybody know how to? Oh, I did it. Yeah. I did. Sorry. This is okay. I just wanted
really.
To
that's the comment we need to highlight, right, man. But that's it. Lori,
see,
I swear.
Okay, I'm sorry. I fixed that. I did. Oh, this is what I should have pinned.
Oh.
So this is my friend that I was in towards the end of my sentence. So I knew her long enough for her to see like the craziness in the middle of my sentence. So she probably doesn't have any really bad stuff. Now I've got to unpin that.
Just click it again.
And it moved. Well, it moved. Other people commented. Oh, wait. Wait. I'm going to get this. We're thinking an hour shows? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want you to look. This is what this is like. Okay. You look like Maggie right now. She's gonna get mad that I said that.
I'm gonna get the mouse for next time because
yes,
they're not fixing to get me screenshots like this. Trying to look,
dude. Bam, I did it. You should have done that because it froze on the screen just for a second, Marcy. I'm gonna use that on one of your profile pictures now.
You do that and you snipe Jennifer.
What did you blinked out?
I did not. Blair says she already posted it. Are you?
Gosh. Now, Letitia is here, so she's going to tell Maggie that I was talking about her forehead because on the Zoom meetings, sometimes all you see is her little forehead when she's clicking between screens.
That's
Now
the
is
camera placement, right?
right. Is your friend, where did Shamika go? Because I want to make sure that if you're formerly incarcerated woman in Texas, I hope you're a part of our Lioness group. Marcy's on the steering committee, as well as Lori. Please join our group. We're doing powerful things. I'll always put a plug in for Lioness.
Did you send me the screenshot? Did you
No,
send it in
I
a text
didn't.
message?
Probably Lori did. I bet you Lori did.
She
She sure did.
she did.
Right
She did.
there.
She did.
She did. There it is.
Shamika, back to Shamika that we're talking about. She needs to have an invitation to Linus for sure. And when I get off Letitia, yes, I will send that. So now here I am trying to find that. Although I like that message pinned, it's a good message to have up there.
Can we put it with the screenshot?
So you can answer her question there.
Yes.
How do you
How do I join? Yes. So Marcy will send you an invite to the Linus Facebook group because it's easy. It's probably easier to do that because y'all are already friends on Facebook. Otherwise, I'd have to send it through Messenger and all these extra steps. And yeah, we meet once a month and talk about advocacy and the stuff that we're all doing, whether it's at the Capitol or events or trainings. You know, you may have seen all the wonderful cards that Marcy was able to mail out during Christmas. We also had a big party here in Austin and mailed thousands of cards to our sisters who are locked up. So the more, you know, the more ladies that we have joining us, the more powerful we are. So yes, Marcy will invite you, and you'll get the invites. And send me Tamika's email, and I will put you on our email list to make sure that you get all the meeting links as well.
Okay, I'll whip this up in just a few minutes. Jennifer, can you see the clock from your end?
Yes, 57 minutes and 14 seconds.
Okay. I would have believed you if you had just said yes. You didn't
right? Like, why am I always extra? I'm always extra.
Yeah.
Just answer the question.
Yeah.
God,
yes would have been fine for sure. So we're gonna have it around an hour, right? We didn't really discuss that, but that's what we're thinking. Right?
Yeah, probably an hour. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll take the audio and also upload it to another podcast thing that sends it out if you prefer audio, like in your car or something like that. I do want to answer Blair. Yes, I am on a different platform. I am on YouTube. I have a little channel on YouTube and a little TikTok channel.
Follow her on TikTok already. I think that
because Blair,
her.
aren't you? Blair, wasn't you that I was talking to through the march this weekend?
Blair Bear, yes.
Yes. Because all it says is Blair
Yeah.
P. It does make sense that it's her, but I was just checking.
She's awesome. So that's really cool. She says she can't comment on the Facebook Live meant through the YouTube Live. So that's a good side note. Although Shamika is commenting from Facebook, I'm not sure who's
why that's happening.
page. On here, if you guys have tips or anything like that, just hit us up on any of these channels that are on here and tell us, because we don't know, right? We need to get. And Jennifer, we've got to come up with a jingle. We have to have a cute jingle. Professional.
Do I get to sing?
Absolutely not.
Well,
That's not happening.
You didn't like the
No.
video that I was singing to the cat? I thought I sounded pretty good.
Okay, y'all. It has been so good talking with y'all. We're wrapping this up because we have to turn it off before Jennifer sings. And that's it. Um, Blair Bear, she is an advocate, and there's a lot of people that advocate for prison reform because why? The entire society. It makes all of our communities safer. It makes sense because we're at the hour and we'll be so much better next week.
It's just going
So
to get better and better.
much better. Yes. Okay. Love y'all. Good to see y'all. Thanks. Hey, I forgot to tell you, Jennifer, this is how Cass Michelle ends. He has 700,000 followers. This is how I'm going to end too. She waves until it's gone. Bye. So, oh,